Have the heads of state of the CEMAC region found solutions to the current economic crisis in the region from 2014 as a result of falling oil prices? At the end of 2016 in Yaounde, the heads of state of the 6 member states of the CEMAC reached an agreement during an extraordinary summit to implement policies to emerge from the crisis. Another meeting recently came to a close in Malabo. We speak about this to an economic analyst, Mouissi. Hello, Mr. Mouissi. In what way will the measures announced following the conference in Malabo help to contain the crisis?
En décidant à Malabo de prendre des mesures communes.
In deciding in Malabo to take common measures, the heads of state of the CEMAC region understood that the situation of the majority of the countries was critical. This is the case of countries like Chad, where even employees are not easily paid their wages. In deciding to repatriate part of the assets, still, should these assets on their reserves be known? I think that this could be useful in the sense where these countries need emergency funds to revive their economy. However, in the current context of austerity, choices that have been made have rather been the choices likely to make cuts in investments and cuts in social spending. However, in times of crisis, one of the ways of recovery is to use the investment and consumption. So I think actually repatriating part of the reserves and observing a strict fiscal discipline, they could succeed in reviving the economy. But in my point of view, it will be distributed slowly, given the countries that are still dependent on natural resources.
Now, Mouissi, to be exact, heads of states rather gathered in Equatorial Guinea and promised to boost economic diversification in their respective countries. To what extent is that possible, according to you, when you know that, and you just mentioned it earlier, that these countries massively depend on natural and mineral resources such as oil?
La diversification économique pour l'ensemble des pays de la CEMAC, excepté peut-être le Cameroun, mais pour tous les autres pays de la CEMAC est indispensable.
Economic diversification for all the CEMAC countries, except perhaps for Cameroon, is essential. We must simply provide the means. We have countries living mainly on oil revenues. We should reach a point where the oil revenues are invested in other structural areas that will help revive the economy. It is something that has not always been done, because these are countries that were fine with this situation of oil revenues. When prices go down, as is the case now, their budget is likely to fall with the economy, since they are entirely dependent on oil revenues. So, in fact, economic diversification is possible, but there are choices. Are we diversifying by mainly investing in agriculture, or rather by investing mainly in tourism? We must identify the sectors as well as determining the strategy. And only after doing these preliminary steps, we can advance the diversification process. But obviously, diversification is possible, and in times of crisis, there is no better time to embark on diversification of the economy, because currently the states have their own constraints to operate this process. A last question about the expected announcement. The presidents of Equatorial Guinea and Gabon have assured of their commitment to ensure the free movement of people coming from the CEMAC zone. According to you, are these empty promises, and how will free circulation guarantee an increase in the economy? Free circulation, in any case, the principle was raised by the heads of state, including Gabon and Equatorial Guinea, to implement free movement. I want to remind you that a year and a half ago, these heads of state were committed with a deadline to implement this free circulation, and this has not happened. It must be done, because the CEMAC zone has lagged behind in relation to ECOWAS and the West African Economic and Monetary Union, which are sister zones at the West African level. There is need for free circulation, because the free movement of people and goods allows to generate, beyond the aspects related to integration, which are important aspects, economic gains that allow the various actors who are in Cameroon to invest in Gabon, to invest in Equatorial Guinea, and to no longer be limited in their work. The Gabonese market today is a market of 1.8 million consumers. When you combine the Cameroonian market and the Guinean market, there are 50 million consumers, and that counts. Free movement is not only about the movement of people, but also the movement of goods, capital, and investments. So the moment we will implement it, a process regarding free movement, and that will be implemented in a proper way, we should observe an